The following morning I rose early and made my way on foot along the hazardous rocky precincts of the coast to the Church of St. John's. Oddly enthused by the ominous scene, I set about investigating the external grounds of the ruin, but found nothing beyond cracked headstones and the worn slabs of ancient tombs, arranged in various stages of decay and weathering. Next, I entered the roofless interior and began to examine the dilapidated stonework of the church in some detail. It did not take me long to find what I was looking for amid the tombs and plaques, the crooked ingots, the broken plinths, and fallen masonry. There were tablets of stone built into the walls, most of which were inscribed with religious observances or memorials, written in Latin, Gaelic, Scots, and English, depending on the period of their creation. But there was one that seemed older, more esoteric, which immediately stood out, written in a language I could not understand, with weird characters carved in relief, which upon my initial scrutiny made no apparent sense to me. As if seeing things through a mist of gradual understanding, I began to realize that what I was looking at was another example of the Pictish Ogham. I set about the task of decoding its meaning, but found it particularly difficult. There were symbols I had not seen before, more elaborate and unearthly than the conventional examples I had become used to. But referring to the cipher, I saw that they had been listed separately by Dr. Tarknassus and placed under a heading that said, "The Orthography of the Crythrahin." I had no idea what this meant, and the orthographical traits were both puzzling and thoroughly unique. As I pieced together the transcription from the tablet, the hairs on the back of my neck began to stand on end promptly. This time, there were no coordinates, but a piece of text that read as follows: "There, wherein the secrets lie, the opening of the underworld, where the denizens of the Star People have taken roost. They who favor the darkness, whose tumults are contained by the triangles of their illuminations, who call themselves the Crythrahin, beneath the rock of Fort Fidus, by the order of our high priests, to teach us of the rituals of their distant worlds." I stared at the transcription, perhaps for an hour, fully confounded by its ambiguous revelations. In time, I became aware of the crepuscular glow over the summits of Caithness. I headed back to my ramshackle inn overlooking Cullen Bay, where I hoped to gain some rest before my journey to Fort Fidus the following morning.